Everything Arch Manning does is under the microscope, so we have a bunch of his plays from today's game against San Jose State ready to look back on.
We're going to join the fray?
Yes, and of course, a whole bunch of touchdowns here today. A home start and a win for the Longhorns after the trip to Columbus last week did not go their way. Did you like overall the performance you saw from Arch Manning, BJ?
From where we sit, yes. And, of course, we'll go back and scour the film. At least I will. But, yes, it was an inauspicious beginning for this offense. A couple of punts early. They weren't really didn't really have a rhythm, similar to last weekend. But then they got it going because the defense started forcing turnovers. Short fields, 4 turnovers forced, 21 points off of those turnovers. But he made all the different throws. Wide receivers, tight ends, backs. He got it.
Listen, Sark wasn't going to overreact from what happened last week. That's a big-time defense that they were playing against in a big-time environment. What was important here was to get the confidence of the offense back, and they did so. Parker Livingstone looks like a heck of a player, Brian. 3 touchdown catches already. That play is a little bit problematic and troublesome because there's a panic reflex. He's got to learn to not let the ugly play get uglier, right? You can't let that happen. Turnovers are just the absolute bane of offensive production. But he hit all the throws. It was a clean pocket. This was a great day for the offensive line against an overmatched team. But this is how you grow.
Well, and he also uses his legs, and it's plays like these that I think kind of wake him back up to who he is. When you're struggling, man, you got to get back to be who it is you are. It seemed like he was thinking about playing quarterback last week instead of just playing quarterback. You just got to cut yourself free and let yourself go, and he looked much more comfortable today.
When you're playing Ohio State, you ain't got time to think about being quarterback. They are in your face.
I understand that.
You got to get it out of your hand.
But here's I'm with you because I've seen this guy play now for 3 years, and he couldn't execute the rudimentary throws. I mean, just a little dink and dunk over in the flat. That lets me know he was overcooked. He was trying too hard. Having done it myself and trip over your own feet, he was going to be just fine. All this overreaction, the hype after that game or the lack of hype and the fact that people were poo-pooing him was just as crazy as the hype prior to the game. Poo-pooing him. Poo-pooing. Want me to say the other word?
No.
Need a translation?
Nope. No, we don't. I want to know how this all translates, though, down the line now for this Texas team. The schedule that they have to face
doesn't matter.
Is pretty
until he gets to the swamp.
Well, they've got a couple of games here coming up that are going to continue to build this rhythm. Everybody's going to get involved. Sark will make sure all the skill players are getting a little piece of the action as they get ready to go to that game in the swamp. This is going to be a building process, but they've got a confident quarterback, or at least more confident quarterback, that will only continue to.
It matters, Adam. I didn't mean verbatim. It doesn't matter. Of course, it matters. I'm just saying to the rest of the watching public, they're not going to care about Arch Manning until they see him in another big ball game. So this is great for him in one regard. He gets to now lay in the cut and do his work as he did today, and these next couple ball games, go to the swamp, and then everyone will be focused on him once again.
Yes. It looks like things lay out perfectly for this team. We thought the cake was going to be baked right out of the gate. It's not. They need some curing time, and they've got a couple opportunities to do that because there's a lot more stuff to work on for this team, in my opinion, than just Arch Manning. First of all, you got to cut down the penalties. They had 12 for 115 yards today. They really struggled on third down. They lost their top 4 wide receivers from last year, so that's starting to emerge. The run game's good, but not nearly what it's going to need to be to go on the road in the SEC. So they've got some time, but the potential for this team is there, but they're not a finished product yet. And I think suffering from the expectations that everybody had because of Arch Manning's last name, I said it before, if he wins the Heisman, it's going to be much more impressive of the pressure that he dealt with off the field than whatever he did on it. Let this young man grow. This Texas team, in my opinion, isn't nearly as good as last year's, but by the end of the year, it may start to look familiar to what your Longhorn fans think.
Defense gave up more yardage today than they did a week ago. It was 203 versus Ohio State, 273, but they did have sacks. They did accomplish and accumulate some TFL, so that's moving in the right direction, and they forced the turnovers, as I mentioned, 4 turnovers in this ball.
They probably took their foot off the gas a little bit.
Well, of course. Yeah. You know how hard it is after playing last week. Now you come home and it's San Jose State. You don't feel good about
11 a.m. starting time.
11 a.m. start. San Jose State. They ain't fired up. Let's just be honest. Yeah, you want to go out there and you want to get the dub without getting hurt and get ready for the next one and then the next one. We know when they will be riding 100% as far as intensity. That will be when they go to Swamp.
It looks like a national championship level defense, though. Only gave up 203 yards against Ohio State.
I agree.
What I haven't seen from Sark this year, and maybe he's holding it, but for conference portion of the season, are the little plays that just get it out of his hand, that take a little pressure off the quarterback.
First play of the game,
call
Rick.
them, or the little 15-yard
formations?
handoffs. No, the things where you got a wide receiver in motion, you throw it out to him, and he's behind some blockers, the missile screens, all those little gadget plays. I go back to the Alabama portion of Sark's career when Mac Jones came in. He went 18 of 22 in his first start against Arkansas with only about four or five plays going further than 10 yards down the field. When those, schemed throws start becoming part of this repertoire, rather than having to take, 3 and 4 seconds in the pocket to throw the ball down the field, when they become part of the deal, this will be a much more efficient
First pass of the game last
offense.
week was one of those, a little waggle. He threw it in the dirt.
I think, Rick, and I agree with you. Part of the difference is the personnel, though. The toys that he had on the outside at Alabama were a little bit different than what they had with Texas. But what I did like is there was some explosivity to this offense today. 6 plays of 20-plus yards. 3 of those were touchdowns. So they were able to push the ball downfield. That'll start to open things up in the run game. You start to wrinkle in some of those quick passes to the perimeter. Now, all of a sudden, it gets back to where Sark is playing with a little bit of a lead and holding some good cards.
Explosivity?
Yes, it's a new word.
Is it?
It's a new word. I looked it up.
Explosivity.
Explosivity.
Explosiveness?
You know what?
It's the past participle of
The past participle.
yes, of really good.
You were conjugating a lot over there.
You take a break.
You got to be tired.
By the way, 30 passes. 30 passes week 1, 30 passes week 2. Going for it on some fourth downs where maybe you could have played it safer. Though, you get all the applause if you convert some of those.
Yeah.
Did you like the use?
Not as important today. You can afford to be more aggressive today in a game where you're going to be able to handle the outcome. A week ago, hostile territory, the fourth down conversion thing was suspect in my mind. And you guys were sitting next to me before it happened. I'm not just Monday morning quarterbacking it.
Oh.
I'm saying that they need to kick the field goal or punt. And hopefully they'll remember that when they get to Gainesville.
Okay. Our resident Longhorn want a final word on this deal?
No.
What do you got to say, Easter Bunny Jones?
Wrap it up.
I'll add this last piece.
Oh, hell no.
Such a
What
nice-
now?
Come on, you know
Ain't
where
no
I'm
meat
going.
left on this
You know
bowl.
where I'm going to the offensive
Oh,
line.
yeah. Do it again. Do it again.
If Texas is going to be who they want to be, the supporting cast around Arch Manning on that offensive side has to elevate their game too. I think too much of the onus has been placed on him. That offensive line that ran the ball pretty well, they protected extremely well. You watched all those highlights. He was back there eating sandwiches, man, eating brisket from Franklin's and doing his thing.
They last week's game, let's go back there. They did exactly what I said they needed to do to win that ball game. 1, shut down Jeremiah Smith. They've now done it twice.
Check.
They needed to run the rock. They ran for 160 yards in that ball game.
Check.
Thank you. What I didn't expect, once again, was Arch Manning not being able to execute free throws. He was shooting bricks, man. I mean, little simple throws. The guy was overcooked. I knew he would be fine this week. They would bounce back, and they will continue to build heading into the big one in the Swamp.
There you go. And you can
You feel
check
better?
us
Check.
out every
Check.
Saturday here in Studio
Check.
3.
Check!
Check, please.
Check's
I'll
cash.
take one.
Check.
I'm on a fixed income, and CBS fixed it good.